Today we're going to discuss 4 steps that you can start taking right now to get dramatic, life-changing, and career-changing results. Let's check it out. Now I want to start with this quote from Vince Lombardi. And he said, "The man on top of the mountain didn't fall there." Now we live in a time where as independent artists, we can not only win, but we can win big. But not only is the game winnable for us, it's so exciting to be a part of. But you have to understand the game that you're in. There's a lot of noise and misinformation out there. But the good news is that there are a lot of experts who are sharing their wisdom and their knowledge online who are available to you. And if you're eager to learn from them, these experts can save you years and years of struggle and hardship, especially when you implement what they share. So today I want to share with you 4 steps that you can start taking right now to start working with experts who are sharing their knowledge and their skill set online. And the first step is that you have to choose your mentors carefully. Now let me ask you, would you rather learn from a 20-year-old who teaches at a local music store or from a professional who's actually making a living doing what you want to do? Now, I'm going to assume that you want to learn from a master who's perfected their craft as opposed to someone who's just reading out of a textbook that was written by someone else. After all, masters are the ones that you should want to learn from while you can, right? And I say while you can for a reason. Because do not expect the opportunity to learn from an expert to always be available for you. In fact, oftentimes we procrastinate. We think that opportunities are going to be there down the line, but the reality is that they won't. By nature, those who've mastered their craft are action takers. They're not going to be sitting around waiting to help you forever. In fact, that's why so many of us only offer our programs a limited number of times each year. We release them when our schedules allow us to be fully present and invested in our students. And these opportunities, they come and go. But the individuals who are eager to learn and take action to learn, those are the ones who are rewarded. And that's just the way that it works in every business, across every industry. Action takers are rewarded. But if you wait too long, as you already know, opportunities will pass you by. And these aren't like college courses. What makes these opportunities special is the ability to learn and be mentored firsthand by the expert, not some random person reading out of a textbook. And really, it all comes down to who you learn from, right? Now, the problem is that since COVID, a lot of people have gone online teaching their knowledge and sharing their knowledge when in reality, they've not accomplished anything in their own careers. So the first step is to choose your mentors carefully. And this is your responsibility. Okay, you have to look at the industry that you want to succeed in and simply find 2 or 3 experts who teach that subject. It's up to you to do your due diligence and research them. Now you can start by consuming their free content to get a feel for their teaching style, but you're definitely going to want to review their credentials. Like I said, it's your responsibility to validate them as true experts before you invest your time, your energy, and your hard-earned money into them. Then make a commitment to take action. Evaluate the opportunity to work with just one of them, and then make a decision to act. Don't wait. Okay, the opportunity may not be there in a month. It may not be there in 3 months. It may not be there in 6 months. It may not be there a year from now. Okay, opportunities often disappear as fast as they appear. And often, the greatest results that we get, they come from learning and implementing just a few key strategies that this particular expert perfected on their own journey. All right, but the longer you wait, the more competition you're going to have, because while you waited, other action takers, they jumped in and they're already miles ahead of you. They're already making the connections and building the relationships that would have been available to you if you'd have taken action. Okay, and of course, we all know the phrase, the early bird gets the worm. Success loves speed. And I absolutely love that phrase because it's just so true. The first ones to grab hold of the opportunity are the ones who benefit. And listen, when it comes to, building your music career, what you don't know can, and it really most likely will hurt you. In fact, the traditional music industry has been based around the fact that a lot of musicians do not know the specific details of the industry. And I see this every day, especially with songwriters who come to me and then they find out that they unknowingly signed their publishing away. Well, how did they sign that away? Well, because somewhere along the line, they tried to take the easy road. They clicked a box somewhere. They signed up with some non-exclusive company to represent their music or whatever. And ultimately, unknowingly, they gave away their publishing. When it comes to licensing specifically, but really just anything as a whole, ignorance is not bliss. That phrase, ignorance is bliss, is complete garbage. Ignorance is not bliss. It's pain. It's struggle. And ignorance often results in frustration and even walking away from your true potential. Not necessarily because something was too hard, but because you simply didn't take action. Now, my goal with Master Music Licensing is not to teach you how to get a sync placement. What? My goal with Master Music Licensing is to teach you how to get consistent sync placements. No one has built their career off of one placement. You build a career off of consistent sync placements, getting one sync placement, then turning it into 10, turning it into 100, etc. So it's the repetition of sync placements that actually allows us to build this career. But you start by taking action. So after you've chosen a mentor, the second step is to make a commitment to take action when the opportunity presents itself. And that leads us to the third step, which is to follow through and complete your training. Now, here are some interesting statistics that I want to share with you. Only 10% of people who buy a book read beyond the first chapter. That's pretty mind-blowing, right? Now, when it comes to online courses, roughly 19% of people who buy an online course actually complete it. Pretty mind-blowing too, right? Well, because, of course, of the internet, it feels like everyone and everything is accessible at all times, and even at a moment's notice, right? So it's so easy to just blow something off and postpone it until later. But when you have the opportunity to learn directly from an expert who's accomplished what you aspire to accomplish, don't squander that opportunity. Embrace it. It truly is a gift. Follow through on it and complete the training. Okay, remember, the opportunity to be mentored by a true expert will not always be available to you. And this is going to be kind of fun here because I'm a Star Wars geek. Some of you guys may know that already. And I can go into deep detail on this, but I'm going to keep it really simple for you non-Star Wars fanatics. But in The Empire Strikes Back, Luke Skywalker was training with Yoda, okay, and he decided to leave in order to help his friends who'd been captured by Darth Vader. Now, Yoda warned him about the danger of not completing his training before confronting Darth Vader, all right? But, of course, Luke ignored it. And what happened? Well, he confronted Darth Vader. He wasn't fully prepared, and then he got his arm cut off. Now, in Return of the Jedi, he had completed his training, and he was able to, basically slay the evil empire, and all was well in the universe. But you have to follow through and complete your training. Taking action, that's great. I applaud anyone who takes action. But don't just enroll in a program to feel good about yourself and convince yourself that you're making progress. You have to follow through. You have to complete the training to make progress. And that leads me to this quote by Tony Robbins. And he said, "Contrary to popular wisdom, knowledge is not power. It's potential power. Knowledge is not mastery. Execution is mastery. Execution will trump knowledge every day of the week." So the fourth step in this process is to execute and implement what you've learned immediately. Now, I'll be honest with you. I do not know everything when it comes to the music industry. I really have 3 areas of expertise. I've been playing guitar for over 30 years. I consider myself a master at the instrument. Not the best by any means, but I can get by pretty well. I've been producing music for over 20 years. Definitely feel that that's a solid skill set. And I've been licensing my music for over 16 years. Another skill set that I feel I've mastered. Okay, but along with that, I've had failures too. I've played bad notes in front of thousands of people and in the studio tracking parts and whatnot. I've worked on albums and songs that had high expectations that when it was when we finished it, it just didn't live up to those expectations. And while I've had 2,500 sync placements, I'm sure that I've lost out on well over 10,000 other ones where I was in the running, but I didn't make the final cut. So the reality is that with success comes failure, right? But we cannot look at it as failure. These failures really are what lead us to the next step in our success. And figuring out what doesn't work is often just as important as figuring out what does work. Now, I want to share this quote from Thomas Edison with you. He said, "I've never failed. I've just figured out 10,000 ways that didn't work." Gene Simmons from the band Kiss said, "I fail every day in my life in business and in decision making. So what?" You know who else failed? Henry Ford went bankrupt. Oprah Winfrey failed. All the big guys failed many times, and that's what made them succeed. Now, that's coming from a man who sold over 100 million albums. Love him or hate him, or love him or hate the music, it's irrelevant. He sold over 100 million albums. So talk about a mindset shift. Okay, the reality is that there's an abundance of opportunity available to every single one of us, especially when you apply all that you've learned from the experts that you've chosen to learn from. And knowing the strategies is not the same as owning the strategies. A strategy without the actual execution of it and the implementation of it is absolutely worthless. So let's do a quick recap here. Here are the 4 steps that you can start taking right now that will dramatically change your life and your career and lead you to your desired goals. Step 1 is to choose your mentors carefully. There are a lot of imposters out there, so look at their credits and their successes. Those credits and successes should earn them the right to teach you. Okay, not their website design or their savvy marketing skills, their credits and their successes. In fact, if you're learning anything related to music and the person that you're learning from at this point does not have major credits or gold and platinum albums or on their wall or and a major award of some kind, then I highly recommend you reassess who you're investing your time, your energy, and your money into, because there are experts with massive credentials who are teaching in the online space. Step 2 is to take action on the opportunity to study with them. Okay, even more importantly, realize that the opportunity will not last forever. Now, if this is something that you want to learn, and this is a particular individual that you want to learn from, then commit to taking action and learn from them now. The opportunity to learn from that specific expert will not always be available to you. And the opportunities to put into action what you've learned from them, those opportunities are going to go to the other action takers out there who did not procrastinate. Okay, so you want to be at the forefront of the opportunity, not picking up the scraps at the tail end because you waited. Okay, I can't overemphasize this enough. Take action. The only true failure is the failure to act. Step 3 is to follow through. Simply complete the process of learning the expert's system or strategy. If you've chosen the right mentor, then you can be assured that you're learning a proven formula for success. And then step 4 is to execute. Implement what you've learned immediately. Okay, and remember that quote from Tony Robbins: knowledge is not power, it's potential power. Knowledge is not mastery, execution is mastery. So execute and immediately start implementing the process and the strategy that you've learned. Now, I hope this has been informative and inspiring for you. And if getting your music onto TV shows, films, and commercials is a goal of yours, of course, I'd love to have you join us in the Mass Music Licensing course and help you absolutely crush it when it comes to getting placements of your own songs. But, if I'm not the right guy for you, that's okay. I want to encourage you to find a mentor, find a coach, find an expert who you gel with, and take action. Make a commitment to take action, jump into their program, learn from them, follow through, learn everything they teach you, and then put it into action. Execute on all of that information. That's how you're going to get the results that you want to get. All right? We'll chat with you later.